Okay, so I've just knit the stem. You can see that's my little stem there, the little I-cord stem. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit one, and then you yarn over one. So I'm going to move this over so it makes an empty peg here, and I just float the yarn in front of it. Just float the yarn in front of the empty peg, and then I knit this one. And then I start working back, and I purl every stitch back. So I'll have 3 on my 3 stitches in total. And you see how this was just floated in front, but you can still purl it now. So that makes it a stitch. So that now puts a stitch on the center peg. And then I purl this one. And then what we want to do is knit one. And then it says to yarn over, so we're going to make an increase. So we just move this over. And then the yarn over is you just float in front of the empty peg. And then we knit the center one. Then we have another yarn over, so we move this one over to create an empty peg. So now we have the center peg, and we have another empty peg. We're just gonna float in front of it. And then we're going to knit this one. So now you can see that we've increased by 2. So we had a knit, we moved that one over, it had an empty peg, and we floated in front of the empty peg. Then we knit the center peg, then we moved that stitch over and floated in front of this empty peg, and then we stitched this one. So now we've increased by 2, and we have 5 stitches in total. So it's a purl row this time. So then we're just going to purl every stitch, every peg. So we go back and we purl. And we can just purl these what were empty pegs, because there's yarn floating in front of them. We just use that yarn like it's on the peg as a stitch. So that's why we can purl those pegs now. And then we're on another increase row. So what we want to do is move these 2 stitches over. So I'm going to knit. It's always easier to knit and then move over, because it gives you a little more leeway. So knit, move that over, and then I'm going to knit this one, just going behind that peg so I don't put a stitch in front of it, and move that over. And then I can kind of tighten it up. And then there's an empty peg here, so we got knit, knit, a yarn over, empty peg. Yarn over just means we're going to float that yarn in front of it. And we knit the center peg like that, and then we're going to yarn over here. So we need to move these